case study in FMCG. But before we move on to that segment or our case study, I'll request you guys, if you are in undergraduate or postgraduate of your courses. I mean, if you are an undergraduate or a postgraduate final year student, there is one live event which is going to happen between 1st and 15th of June. That is the great Indian discussion. And mind me, this is a platform where you register your college yourself free of cost. Then you have a opportunity to interact with your say HRs from different industry and elite panel, and at the end we'll be having state level winner and even a national level winner, and monetary prizes worth rupees lakhs would be dispersed and distributed among those winners. So this opportunity in itself, and I feel like you guys should take on this opportunity and register yourself. Who knows that you got to interact with the same HR that you are going to interview in near future, right? So I believe there would be one button within your Safejob page. Just register over there and make yourself eligible for that 1 lakh worth of prize. So now coming back to today's case, chosen one of the favorites that Indian would love, Haldiram. Yes, I though have discussed this thing, but not as a case study. Today, I'll be taking you through how this a small street corner shop evolved into a global business at present, right? So taking through their journey and how they have evolved, how they changed, and how they moved on from just a street side shop to a global company, right? So to start it, I'll say like this Haldiram, they have a potential. You can say this is MACD, home company of India, which is worldwide known for its eatables and fast moving consumer. That is also like they are selling off certain namkeens and other sweets also. So to take you through this, they Haldiram, they started up way back in 1937. It was just a street side shop in Bikaner, selling some namkeens, those very popular in Bikaner area, and I believe as a end of say almost it's 8 decades now, 8 decades, 80 years of time they have spent in this FMCG industry. What they have done is, what they have garnered is like 40, 14 billion dollars of rupee revenue they have generated, and they are that I'll say, and most company in FMCG sector in India, which is catering via FMCG, I mean products as well as uh, restaurants. They have, so how they had this concept. It generally started when they moved on into Delhi. Forefathers of he planned to move into Delhi to open up a shop in Chinese foundation. I a lot and still in tune, but yes, you can antique and traditional items still there. They haven't moved on with other products, though they have tried and tested everything within their offerings or product offering that they customers for. But yes, they have tried and tested, but has always remained or sustained their those products which are more popular among the people, and that's the why these guys or a mere customer would come down to Haldiram expecting some particular product, and for me that would be a Raj Kachori. that most of us Indian may be in down south or may be in northern India, you might have, if you are a frequenter at Haldiram's, you might have tried this one of their dishes. I mean, say for once, you might have tried this thing. So that is their USP. They have a different line. They are not selling just another pizzas or burgers. They understood the psyche of the customer. That customer for pizza, they'll go to some Pizza Hut or Domino's, and for burgers, they'll go to McDonald's or some others, Mr. Burger or but for their own line of products like chole bhature, they are famous for that across India and in fact across world. Even some of my relatives live in overseas in US. They also acknowledge that we have a same product line, right? What they are offering here and right what they are being offered there in US. So they have evolved with the time, and they started this your restaurant business, or I'll say chain of restaurants. They opened up this when they started up first of their outlet at Mathura Road, that is in Delhi, and they started up manufacturing certain products on larger scale. Certain people they started buying. Then they have this idea of allotting certain franchisee model, but I believe that didn't work well. Again, they went back to their basics and opened up three of outlets within Delhi, and then had some tie-ups across India. And virtually by the mid 90s, like say mid and last 1995 to 98, they established something around about 6 to 7 outlets pan India in down western area and in fact in Delhi, because they understood the need of the customer. They were not relying on the products they are selling in North India. That is the only product that they are offering in Southern India. No, they were offering the products which are desired by the South Indian, like Muruku. That is a product made out of rice, and that is very much famous down south. So they captured on that market, and they offered the same line of products as per the demography, as per the geography. Again, in those 90s, I'll say in mid 90s to the last 90s, this Haldiram, they evolved into a huge concern. From being just another restaurant or being just another namkeen shop, they went on to another level and they evolved themselves. They brought into certain machineries from overseas or say from indigenous machines, so which were very effective, cost effective, and very efficient. So to I mean, in sync with the demand that they are getting in from different customers. So they understood that psyche, that customer at every demographic location, every geographic location, they require a different stuff. So they went into different mode. They started opening retail chains, in fact, their own restaurant chains, not only in India but overseas also, like till like say in early 2000s. So they had this UK, UAE, New Zealand, Australia, US, Canada's all thing covered. So all the countries they covered, wherever Indians are more as to the population, they have this Haldiram serving that there. So they thereby they in the mid of this 2000s they started up making this Haldiram as a global brand, and they indeed did it very successfully. Because way back when they started up their in 80s, they started up their first outlet in Delhi itself. Who at that point of time has imagined that a foreigner would come down to an outlet in India, in Delhi, in fact, and he'll be served with a golgappa, which would be tagged, and again the packaged water of that pani puri or golgappa, which we say, that would be in small packaged water bottles. So they innovated this thing. They understood the requirement. If a foreigner is coming down here and he is having uh, hunger for eating something and he likes Indian food, and then for sure he's not going to any street side, vendor to have that thing eaten, because everybody knows that they are they feel very sickness very early. So to understand that psyche, they opened up first outlet in South Delhi, which served this thing to specifically cater to those guys or those people who are from overseas or the foreigners who have zeal to try in some Indian dishes. So they had this thing conducted, and that paid off, and they had very good number of people coming from overseas or from, like say, just non-residents who are visiting India. So they were thronging these South Delhi restaurants itself. Apart from this, yes, they again, as to why, as to how they can go out and reach out to the maximum population of India. So they devise on the lines of, like, if you can rewind yourself, you can understand that at the beginning of 90s or mid 90s, we were thronged with certain Frito-Lays or certain other products, or from maybe from Pepsi stable or from Uncle Chip's stable. We have two choices only. Either you have to opt for certain Frito-Lay's product, or either you have to opt for Uncle Chip's product. So they understood that thing, that if you have to sustain, if you have to sell out your that namkeen line, which was their base, which where they started off their business with. So they understood that thing very effectively, and they pitched in with different line of products, packaged namkeen, packaged sweets. And you all guys might have received, if on Diwali, you might have received, if you are in habit of giving and taking gifts in festive season, definitely one or two gifts you might receive or you might give is from Haldiram's stable, because they understood the psyche of Indian customer, that they want to gift something. If you add a flavor of certain nuts, like say fruit nuts, that is good enough. So they can do this thing, right? So they understood this thing, and they managed to create a pipeline of packaged namkeens, packaged sweets also. So they did this thing very effectively. And again, they introduced the line of sharbats and other things. So thereby they have a, if you have visited, like say for past 5 to 6 years, you have visited any hypermart or a supermart, you might have one corner only for specifically Haldiram's product. You can even find a namkeen there. You can even find uh, see a sweets over in any product like sharbat or a syrup that is from Haldiram's flavor. So they have created this thing, and the effect, how they created it is they relied on their the products requirement. Like if I'm selling to a southern Indian guy, I need to realize what is the famous product down there. So eventually they offered Marukus maybe in small packets or maybe in bigger packages. So they understood that demography. When it comes down to West India, they understood that yes, people here love bhel or something sort of that bhel puri and something. So they offered that thing in Western India. In northern India, they have this question of people coming down from all India, and North Indians, they explore more of things which are more spicy. So they understood that thing. They innovated, and they thronged the market with the packaged punch rattan or Navratans or Nazaranas or this sort of a product only. Again, what happened was they, they were able to dent or say other festival. They also offered some just namkeens or the potato wafers which available only under other brand. So offered Hulse potato wafers where uh, not they went into a certain innovation sort of a thing, but just they presented the wafer as should happen. Like you take out a wafer and you can take out a wafer from Dinam, you can imagine a difference. Yes, the presentation is more Indianized in your Haldiram pack. Again, their pricing has been a strong one of, as to how to capture a market. Because this is the base that they understood that if you have to reach out to mass, you have a certain pricing pattern. Again, I'll elaborate this thing. Haldiram doesn't generate their pricing. Why? Because they have already calculated if there is very emergency to or say additional burden of taxes that has been imposed, only then you should hike your price. Else, they have offered, say, 30 or 30, 40 grams of a product, say a namkeen packet, within a 5 rupees bracket, which is within the reach of a rural Indian. So, to make it possible, they have went into that 5 rupees model and competed with other brands who were unable at go. But yes, they have also came into this thing. But again, you can Haldiram range of product which are having a vast variety than other competitors. If you Frito-Lays, they have a restricted line of namkeen products like you can only find chips or certain that stuff. But when it comes down to Haldiram's, you have Panchatan, your moong dal, again your chips of varieties, and in your this Satvik or fasting season, you'll find a Satvik chips from Bombay, from Haldiram. So this is the idea about studying the demography, understanding the people, and pricing the product. Again, that also mattered. So what they ensured is reach out to widest possible products to different segment of the society, both in India and overseas. What they did was they hired certain or had an association with certain carrying and freight forwarding agent, and you won't believe this Delhi unit. It caters to 50 freight forwarding agents and 700 distributors in India. And from here, they have 35 sold 35 plus. It has gone to 50 plus figure for your international market. I mean, 50 plus full distributor for that. Those having catering from Delhi and so their precision capturing the location of their outlet so much. Imagine if haven't come to Delhi and haven't done that thing, so it might haven't been so huge big business. But yes, they ventured into exactly the position where they wanted that they have people awaiting their products, or their products might be in, like say, sound demand. So they captured those locations very wisely. And this can be only done if planning would have been done. And yes, indeed, the planning is very strong as to people, pricing, place, and even promotions. When it comes down to promotion, if you have visited any even the restaurant of Haldiram, they present you with the whole the leaflet which is put onto their that tray, which is a sales tray most of the time. So they have mentioned different location where you can reach out to Haldiram outlets and the product line they are offering and the products. I mean, may it be a restaurant product, they offer a wide variety. They have done this thing very right. Like promoting a product is very essential. Right? They have some captions also going on. ये कौन है? यानी it's written on the back of a packet if somebody is allergic to eating a corn or corn allergy exists in some people. So where it is written ये कौन है? Even a person who is not used to listening to or who don't understand English well, so he can easily read that sentence. So they promoted and even they have certain things or not from their stables, which North Indians or the people psyche would be dented very easily, like Sota Samosa, Big Maza. Like they offered that small samosa, which is both a mix of your sweet and sour sort of masala inside. And so, sort of product, what they have in mind is their promotion should be within their domain. People easily recognize this thing. Like for Rasagullas in down eastern part of India, what they was like say oozing with taste. So though it is well roast sweet, which is globally. So this sort of small captured in and they dented in the I mean minds of the people, so who are eager to purchase their product. So this is the psyche that they worked on. They understood the requirement of every customer, every demographic. They even understood if they position their these outlets, restaurant outlets. So they have a two-liner. One, restaurant consumables can be sold, and again, they these restaurants they are offering certain packaged products, may it be a sweets or namkeen. So they have a product line in now, which is global, and yes, they have a good, I'll say, demand pan, you can say, around the world. It's not just restricted, like just in another Indian company, other Indian food outlet. We are a global brand, and if you can see, if you reach out to US or Canada, just Google it, you'll find they have an outlet at the precision, like somewhere in California or in New York, Haldiram's outlet. Same happens in Adelaide. Say in Sydney. Same happens with New Zealand. You can do this thing. You can search it out because they have evolved this thing because their positioning and finding the place for their product that is very strong. And these are the things that their I mean product line or proper management has done to uh, popularize their product and get more and more demand for their product. Indeed, they have been awarded certain awards. Like say in '94, they were awarded International Award for Food and Beverages by Trade Leaders Club in Barcelona. So in Spain, they are also a popular hit. And in fact, if you have visited one of their outlets in part of Valley Connaught Place or Rajasthan, what we say, so you can easily even the fawners are constantly thronging this because they have this uh, back and the product is up to the standard, but they are used to eating within their respective country. So that is the sort of product that Haldiram has created a brand of its own. Are looking ahead to grow, and I believe they'll grow and get a good name out of this FMCG industry in India, and they'll promote the cause here. So I hope you guys what I was trying to say, that Haldiram, it indeed itself is a good case study. Why to study something like or KFC or say McD's when you have your own product or own Indian company having a good you say a history path which is showing that yes, we have potential. Hope you like this case study or my experience with you. There's one like box right beneath that. Just like it, and of course, I should remind you the people in final year of your undergraduation or post graduation, you have a good opportunity in safe jobs, your the great Indian discussion, which is a virtual inter-college discussion. I'll say that you guys register your college yourself on this platform and make yourself eligible for certain prize, which can be which will be over 1 lakh rupees worth. So hope you like this. Bye and good night.